morning. I am Dr. K. Srinivaslu, Professor of Computer Science. So, as per the according to the JNTU curriculum, fourth year second semester students, you have a subject called mobile computing as an elective subject. This elective subject can be taught either by in the form of MOOCs or by conventional method. So, as per according to the syllabus, we will discuss the mobile computing subject in conventional mode. So nowadays, computer network is the most important concept for the research point of view as well as with respect to the educational institutions. Most of the educational institutions may be a combination of number of computers like personal computers or tabs or mobile devices or some other electronic media devices. While communicating the information between one device to another device, there is a need of some communication media or there is a need of some communication techniques. Such type of techniques can be called as networking. The total networking of any networks can be of two types. Either it may be through a wire or it may be a wireless network. Based on the concept of these wireless networks, our entire syllabus will proceed. As per according to the syllabus, our entire syllabus may be of two types. One is wireless communication, another one is wireless sensor networks. Wireless sensor networks means that can be worked based on some electronics devices. Whereas in the case of wireless communication, that can communicate the information through media, that is wireless media. So based on that, the first topic of our mobile computing subject is wireless LANs and wireless PANs. Wireless LANs means local area networks and PANs means personal area network. Both LAN and PANs can be worked based on a wireless. To work with the LANs, they need some different types of media to communicate information. Similarly, in case of PANs, they can also require some different types of media to transfer the data between source to the destination. Based on the concept, there are different types of devices are available in the wireless communication like IEEE 802.11 standard, then HyperLAN standard, Bluetooth and Home RF. These are the four different types of elements are available in the present day to work with the wireless LANs. Coming to the advantages of this wireless LANs when comparing with the wired network, these wireless LANs are more flexible to communicate with the information. It is very easy to plan. Similarly, the design of such type of wireless local area networks is simple because no need to no need of any wire. At the same time, this type of wireless LANs can be work different types of areas like earthquake where the deserts like earthquakes will be happen, or there may be a fire, or there is no communication media. In such areas you can work with this type of wireless LAN. And also the cost of that network will not be increasing. Once it is attached, once it is established, then there is no problem with the wireless LANs. At the same time, there may be some disadvantages with the wireless LANs. Like there is a low bandwidth when comparing with the wired networks because some of the bandwidth may be lost due to a noise. We can call it as media noise. Based on that, the quality of service may be decreased. Similarly, the IEEE 802.11 is one type of protocol, standard protocol, where it will work for the wireless LAN. Similarly, such type of protocol cannot be work for the mobile ad hoc networks. Coming to the safety and security, most of the wireless devices has to take safety and must be insecure. Based on these advantages and disadvantages, so there is a lot of advantages and lot of disadvantages are there with respect to the wireless LANs. Then what are the basic elements or differences between the wireless and wired transmission? With respect to the wireless LANs, it won't require any address. But in the case of wired networks, they need an IP address. But in case of wireless LANs, the IP addresses are not required. This type of wireless LANs can be worked dynamically. There is a restricted connectivity. But in the case of static topology, like wired network, there should be a not restricted connectivity. In case of wireless, the medium boundaries cannot be defined. It may be of some different areas. So based on these advantages, this wireless LAN can be used in different areas like where the earthquakes may be affected. It can also be useful where the communication medias or wired network is not possible in some areas. It is most useful in military areas, military. These are some of the advantages or uses of wireless LAN. Based on these, we have to design a wireless LAN. So before design to the wireless LAN, we have to design or we have to discuss about the design goals of wireless LANs. So why this type of wireless are more required for the society as well as for the research. Based on that, the design goals may be either simplicity or it may having power efficient operations. Similarly, this type of wireless LANs are license free operation. There is no need of any license. This type of wireless LANs can be useful for global, for everybody can use. But whereas in the case of wired network, it can be useful only for a particular area or a particular room. Concerned to the security, we can make a security by using some different types of password. Based on that, we have to design a wireless LAN. Similarly, we have to provide low radiation wireless devices because all these wireless LANs can be worked based on wireless medium like radios. So whenever the radios are having low radiation, then it's very safety to the persons who are going to living nearer to the devices. These are the different types of design goals. Because of these different types of design goals, these networks may be classified into two different types. One is infrastructure networks contains access points, another one mobile stations. One of the best example for this infrastructure networks access point is most of the metropolitan cities or most of the cities, the network or the internet is provided by the local people. The local people can define a host station. Within the entire city, they will provide the access points. Through this access point, they can communicate the information. Like local in Kurnool, there are different types of providers are available like DVR Technologies. They will provide the internet only for the Kurnool district, not for the entire world. But in the case of other providers like Airtel or BSNL or Voda or Idea, they will provide the internet for the entire world. So that can be worked with this mobile station. So that ad hoc line networks are one of the best example for unfixed infrastructure or can call it as infrastructureless networks. So based on these, we can define a wireless local area networks. So this picture shows what is the difference between infrastructure network and infrastructureless network. That is, infrastructure network may contains the access points, where in the case of infrastructureless networks, that is ad hoc networks, they should not contain any access points. We can define some different types of standards like IEEE standard, IEEE 802.11 standard. That is IEEE means Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. That is 802.11. It is organized by an USA based company or USA government. So this type of 802.11 IEEE can be worked only for wireless, where it provides mobile stations, that is we can call it as mobility station, that can operate in two different levels, that is IEEE 802.11. Similarly, there are number of another type of devices are there, like hyperlan. So hyperlan is another type of devices where such type of devices can be worked for the same wireless LANs. So these are the different types of architectures where we have to work with 802.11 devices. This is the IEEE standard 802.11 where we have to work with the access points, infrastructure network and fixed terminal. For the fixed terminal we can communicate through the infrastructure network. The data can be accessed by the access point. Next one is hyperlan, high performance radio local area networks, that is hyperlan. So this type of network standard can be defined by the European Telecommunication Standard Institute, that is ETSI. It is one of the alternative device or alternative standard for the IEEE 802.11. In this case of hyperlan, everybody can use or every network can be used radios. Suppose you can see in our college, the entire campus is connected with one tower that is available at the top level. From the top level, we can communicate the internet for the different types of devices to the radios. So where there is a radio, we can call it as, it can be worked based on hyperlan. So these are the different types of standards for the hyperlan, that is ETSI standard, that is European standard. So this type of hyperlan family, hyperlan networks may contain some different types of families where they can provide some different types of properties like within a range, or it may work based on the bandwidth on the quality of support. So these are the various hyperlan networks, that is hyperlan 1, hyperlan 2, hyperlan 3 and hyperlan 4. So all these different types of hyperlans can be worked based on some different types of applications. It may with respect to application or with respect to frequency, topology, antenna, range, quality of service, mobility, interfaces, data rate and power consumption. So based on these different types of properties, we can work with the different types of hyperlans. So all these four different types of hyperlans can be standardized by European government. So what are the main characteristics of this hyperlan? The hyperlan characteristics may be either data transmission or services, topology and other mechanisms. With respect to the data transmission, the data can be transferred from point to point or point to multi-point or connectionless. So both in these three different ways we can transfer the data through this hyperlan. With respect to the services, it can be more compatible with any ISO based MAC layer protocol compatibility devices. This type of networks may be work either infrastructure or infrastructureless networks. At the same time, this type of hyperlan networks can also be useful by using different types of encryption and decryption techniques for providing the data. Another type of wireless communication device is Bluetooth. So nowadays everybody knows about the importance of the Bluetooth. Suppose whenever any member has to transfer their data between one mobile to another mobile, so immediately you can switch on the both Bluetooth available in the both the two devices. Directly you can communicate the information. So this is the basic idea of this Bluetooth. That is, this type of Bluetooth cannot require any radio towers. They cannot require any wire, but the range must be within a short range. That is, within the 10 meters of distance, we can communicate the information. At the same time, they have low power consumption because it is communication between one mobile to another mobile. They won't require any mobile stations. They can also communicate or they can also transfer the voice as well as data. The approximate of data that can be transferred per second is 1 Mbps per second. That is, so this type of Bluetooth can be started or developed by Ericsson company in 1994. So most of the first generation mobiles are derived from Ericsson company. So based on that company, they have started the development of Bluetooth technologies. So these are the various symbols can be appeared in the mobile like Bluetooth symbols. This type of Bluetooth symbol can be formed as a group that can be called as Bluetooth special interest group, where this type of group can provide the importance of the Bluetooth. Then what are the characteristics of this Bluetooth? So similar to the HyperLAN, this type of Bluetooth can also be having some different types of properties because this type of Bluetooth can be worked under 2.4 GHz ISM band with 79 RF channels. It can also require very low transmittance power, that is, it requires only 1 to 100 mega power watts transmit power. So what are the specifications of this Bluetooth? Suppose each and every mobile having different types of technologies with Bluetooth. So some of them may work under Android application, some of the work may be under Windows application. So based on that, this type of Bluetooth can be worked either through radios or it may working through baseband or it may be working through link management protocol. So these are the various specifications of this Bluetooth operation. So where this type of Bluetooth may be work. So Bluetooth can be work within the range where you can communicate information in a small distances. So for that they require some radios. The radio frequencies may be a nearer frequencies like RS-232 or AA-232. Such type of Bluetooth can also be worked based on services like we can call it as service recovery protocol or infrared data association. Based on this, the entire Bluetooth application consists of different types of applications. It may be modem dialer, it may be web browsing client. So this is the main Bluetooth protocol stack. This type of Bluetooth protocol stack may communicate the information through an audio or may communicate through video or through document. So this is the basic protocol stack of a Bluetooth. So this type of Bluetooth network may be formed. That is, we can call it as PicoNet. So PicoNet means connecting various devices with a single server. At the same time, each and every kind can be communicated or synchronized with another one. So without synchronizing one mobile with another mobile, the data cannot be connected. Suppose for example, in our mobile, if our mobile is not synchronized with our mobile ID, the Play Store cannot be open because such type of user cannot be synchronized. Whenever it is synchronized, then it forms a network. Such type of network can be called as PicoNet. Then next another type of wireless communication standard is home RF. This is also one type of technique where this type of technique can be useful to transfer the voice and data and videos within a small scale office or within a small area where it provides low cost. So such type of home RF was developed by home RF working group that is composed of major companies such as Compaq, Intel, Motorola, National Semiconductor and Siemens. So one of the best example this type of home RF can be using in the police department where they can communicate their information through their walkies. The walkies can be working under a small range. They cannot communicate the information for the long areas. They can communicate only with the short areas where they can use the swapping technique. Swapping means communicating, then that is sending or receiving or vice versa operations can be done. That is, it may be internet or entertainment network like cable television or transferring the data between disk and printing the data to the printer and automation. So this is about the home RF and applications. So what are the RF standards? Entire it may be home RF or it may be Bluetooth or it may be Hyperland or LAN. So all these four different types of devices are having some standards. That is, the standard properties are data rate, transmission range, frequency, security, cost and availability. So these are the different types of properties. Along with that, it may contain some advantages that may be depending upon connection setup, QoS that is quality of service, manageability that is maintenance, and other advantages and disadvantages. So that's about the basic concept of mobile computing with respect to mobile LANs and bands. So these are the various important questions. That is, describe how the wireless networks better role than the wired network. Differentiate between infrastructure networks and ad hoc networks. And we have to explain four different types of standards like IEEE 802.11 standard device, Hyperland, and advantages of Bluetooth device and home RF system.